Okay, I am back. Hopefully, fingers crossed for Top Tip Tuesday, this time it will work a little bit better. So if you jumped on before and saw the tech issues and the situation wigging out and had to jump off, I apologise for that. I'll make this week's Top Tip Tuesday short, sharp and shiny. And by the way, for those of you that tune in live, just a heads up, this is the last term that we're doing morning Top Tip Tuesday. So one of my first top tips for you is if you have a busy morning schedule at home or there's lots of stuff you like to do in the morning before you start work, top tip, schedule your own Top Tip Tuesdays or whatever you do regularly for your clients in the afternoon. So next term, these are going to be at 4:30 in the afternoon, because that way it gives me reflections of what I've coached people on throughout the day to share with you guys. And it also gives me time to really put some more organisation and structure into the Top Tip Tuesday. So what's happened is Tuesday is obviously our first day of the week. We work on a Tuesday to Thursday work week. And I don't start each other day until 10 o'clock because I like to take the dog for a walk. I like to do my morning routine at home and just have this lovely chilled entry into each day. And then I wrap up by about 5 or 6 o'clock each night, Tuesday to Thursday. Beautiful work week, right? But now my Tuesday mornings have become the sort of rushed, it's like my new Monday morning. And it's really not that hard. There's no peak hour traffic. There's no kids I need to get ready for school or anything like that. But I've just decided that I want Top Tip Tuesday to increase in quality as we continue to provide this to you and have a better focus so that it can be content we can use on our social media as well as just sending it to our YouTube channel. So that's my first bonus top tip for you is if you want to do something regularly as an ongoing for your community, I would think long and hard about the time of day that you do it, and does that fit in with the structure and the routine that is your ideal week. So one of my favorite things to do is to map out your ideal week using our ideal week planner and really look back at that and go, okay, where do things best fit so that I can get in the flow of my own personal ideal week, whatever that might be. So let's talk about this week's Top Tip Tuesday. And if you happen to have hung in through all the tech stuff, by all means, jump in the comments, give me a hello so I know who is watching. But this morning I thought I would talk about speaking to your target audience. And this is really inspired by some questions and conversations that have been happening in our free group, which is the 6-Figure Lifestyle Biz Club. And in our free group, I think it was Lucy Butler that posted a post about asking if anyone else really struggles to define what their target audience is. And it got a lot of combos going, which was great. And it turns out that quite a few people struggle in this area. And Lucy was very surprised to hear that even I, over the years, have struggled with this area. And so I thought this would be a really great thing to give you some tips around. How do you define and speak to your target audience? And I want to share with you what has worked very well for me. So when I talk about the fact that I've struggled with this in our area, it's because I've avoided looking at the signs or the writing on the wall. Your target audience is right there waiting for you, and there is a thing in us, fear of missing out, FOMO they call it, where often we will avoid being too specific and narrowing down and speaking to just them. Because there's so many things you can do, right? And it's like, yeah, but I can help those people as well. And I don't only build businesses, I can help leaders improve their workplace. I can help people set goals and create ultimate life plans. And so there's this pull in us. And also our audience is 98% women, but every event, just about, nearly every event gets one guy in it. And so there's this whole thing of like, yeah, but we're not just for mums, we're for dads and men as well. And I love working with men. And so there's this real struggle of fear of missing out. But here's what I can tell you. When you listen to the people en masse who are loving what you are doing, who are telling your friends about you, and who are telling their friends or their colleagues and referring you on to other clients, those are your ideal audience. And you've got to trust this. Others will always slip through the cracks. It's just how it works. But here's the thing. The only way you can work out how to speak to your target audience is by listening to them. And so years ago, before the 7 Effect was a business, we were a goals club. And I used to speak on stages at women's leadership conferences, and I drew on my real life experiences to create content for my keynote. So I told stories about what was going on in my real life outside of work. And when I started to tell the story of Snow White syndrome and waking up from being stuck in that space and creating my own goals club, the response was phenomenal. For the first time ever, and I always got great feedback on my keynotes, but for the first time ever, after I would speak on stage, women would come up to me and shake my arm and go, "How do I get in the club? What you talked about was so my story." And they resonated in such a way that they literally thought we were living a parallel life. Like the number of women that have said to me, "Oh my God, you literally just described my life," is phenomenal. There's a lot of women who feel that. And in fact, many of you that know me we've probably even had these conversations. We're all on a similar journey. And so when I listened to these women, I thought, wow, they all want to join a goals club. They feel stuck like I was stuck. They want to get out of that rut and they want to reconnect with who they really are, with their passion and their goals. And essentially, they just want to get a life. These are all the things they were saying to me, and these are the ways that I felt. And so that was my first target audience, was goals clubs for women who wanted to get a life. Our original banner actually has on it the 7 Effect Ultimate Life Planning Workshop, Get a Life, because that is the message that they kept saying. I just need to get a life. I just need to get a life. And so by listening to that, by listening to the challenges of the women around me, boom, that was my target audience. So I didn't invent that. I didn't make that up. I just observed what people were speaking to me about and what their problems were. So that was really where our business started. I listened to the problem that people were having. Turned out it was the same problem that I was having. And they told me what they wanted. What they wanted was the opportunity to take time out of their busy life and just make a plan and join a goals club so they could have accountability to get there. And so that was the business that was the 7 Effect when we started. Here's what happened next. I started getting called into, when we left our corporate world, I started getting called into organizations to help them out with one-day workshops and leadership training. And it was mostly kind of emergency stuff. We've got a team, they hate each other. Can you come in for half a day and make them all love each other again? And I didn't love doing that because I thought, you know what, I can create that in the environment, but I know that when I go away, 6 months later, if I come back, they're going to be back to where they were, because that's just human nature. People slip back quite often, especially if there's groupthink involved. So I decided, okay, Amy, we need to create some more consistent income. I want to do leadership with a twist. And so I created a solution that really overcame all the problems that I'd experienced after working 7 years full time in the corporate world as a leadership trainer. And all I did was I spoke to those problems. So this is the second part of speaking to your target audience. Number one is listen to them, use their language, because their language is the language that becomes your copy. Number two, speak to the existing problems that they are struggling with. And this means you've got to understand those problems. and speak about those problems with authority, like you've been there and you freaking know this is an issue, people, and I am on a mission to do something about it. And so that's a really important thing. So what I did is, when we created the Leadership with a Twist, this wasn't because I wanted to do what the audience was asking me to do. They were asking me to go and do one-day workshops. It was because I wanted to challenge what the world was asking me to do in the leadership space, because I'd been doing it for 7 years and I'd seen the holes in it. So what I did was, I decided I was going to be audacious, and I was going to present a solution that was better for me, better for them, and would resolve all the reasons why conventional leadership didn't work. And in my languaging around that, I was poking holes in the existing solutions. I was speaking with authority about the issues that I see again and again and again. I designed a very simple keynote presentation. We hosted our own breakfast, and I shared that at 2 other breakfast events. Boom, we got 3 clients, and that was $124,000 of work secured within a couple of months. And Bob's your uncle. Good morning, Sue Giacobbe. How are you? Nice to have you here. So that's really the second part, is speak to the problem with authority, like you know it, you understand it, and you are determined to resolve it, even if it means poking conventional wisdom in the face, poking holes on what currently people believe is required to get the result. In fact, I recommend that when you do that, you get an even more powerful and compelling marketing message. So number 1, listen to what people are asking for. Use their words as your copy. Number 2, speak to the problem with authority. Absolutely. And then number 3, find your sweet spot and marry it to your client's ultimate desire. And this is our 3rd layer, or the 3rd evolution of the Lifestyle Business Builder and the 7 effect in what we do. So here's what happened. I'm coaching people around their life plans. They go, wow, this is really cool. I get called in to do some work in organizations with leaders. They start to cross over. The people in our life planning workshop ask us to do stuff in their workplace. The people in their workplace ask us to do stuff in their life. They start attending our ultimate life planning. And it's really, really cool. But by our 3rd year in business, I started to realize, you know what? I'm not a life design coach. It doesn't light me up helping people overcome their issues with confidence and insecurity and limiting beliefs and all of that stuff. It started to actually frustrate me. And I definitely knew that I wasn't a leadership coach, because I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit in corporate. I don't want to sit in peak hour traffic. I don't want to hang out with the corporates. I don't want to go to work. I want to have fun. I want to build stuff, go on adventures, live an entrepreneurial lifestyle. And so at the same time that I was having these realizations that, you know what, I've really created a job for myself in this business, some of my clients started asking me to help them build their own businesses. They said, you know what, I've been working with you for a while now, Jodes. My ultimate goal is to do what you've done. I want to create my own business. So I started coaching them around building their business. And that lit me up like a freaking pinball machine. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't wait to meet with those clients again. And then I'd look and I'd go, oh, I've got this person coming in about their relationship issues or their confidence issues. And I'd be like, oh God. It just didn't light me up. But then every time I had a client around the business, I was super keen and I wanted to do extra stuff with them. So the 3rd thing is, listen to what your client's ultimate goal is. Their ultimate goal, many of our clients, was to do what I'd done, to learn how to build a business. Their ultimate struggle was they didn't have the conditioning that I had, which is years and years of living as a lifestyle entrepreneur and being taught from a very young girl that I could start a business out of anything. You could start a business doing that, is an internal mantra that runs in my head. And so I married those 2 things up. The Lifestyle Business Builder was born. And the challenge that I always had was niching it down into the type of business that we help people build. Because the reality is I can help all sorts of people build any type of business. Business is my jam. But the further we got into it, it was really by about the second or third year, I realized, you know what? The people that are joining are all coaches, consultants, and experts. And I've even thought about just niching right down and say, we just help coaches make 6 figures a year. We like the 6-figure coaching program. Totally possible to do, and much more powerful. In fact, if we look at Taki Moore, founder of Black Belt, the $1 million coach, who I spent a year in his program, which was fantastic, by the way. He just helps coaches make 7 figures. He's the 7-figure coaching thing. Now, is it only coaches in his program? No, they're practitioners, they're experts, they're speakers, they do all stuff, but it turns out that that's all classified as coaching these days. So I would say, in speaking to your target audience, the most important thing you can do is listen to them. Listen to the problems they are having. Listen to the language they are using. Listen to their ultimate goals and desires, and marry that up with your own story. And it's not actually until you stop and reflect backwards that you see how that can be done. So if you are in the building stage of launching your business and you're kind of doing the customer avatar thing, maybe you're in the modules of our original Lifestyle Business Builder program, but you haven't actually had clients yet, here's something I would like to suggest. More valuable than anything you could possibly do is just to do your work. Get a client, help them solve a problem. Doesn't even matter if it's the exact problem that you want to help them solve forever. I can tell you this, when we spent the 2 years that we did in the leadership corporate world for the 7 Effect, we made easy money. It took the pain of money away. I always knew it was never going to be my thing, but I didn't look at it as leadership and corporate training. I looked at it, I was there to connect with humans and create a human experience, which is what I bring to life, leadership, and business anyway, because that's just what inspires me. Human beings. So that's it for this week's Top Tip Tuesday. Good morning, Marianne. Thank you for tuning in live. I hope this one has been of value to you. Sue saying absolutely. Boom. She's also got another comment here. Find your niche, and passion is super exciting. By the way, congratulations, Sue. She is a classic example of this working in action. So as you saw in the Lifestyle Business Builder, I think it was Friday, I got a phone call from Sue. She said, Jodes, those 2 proposals we had, we've just locked them in. That's $18K. Boom, $18,000 locked in one day. And I do know that she's got another proposal out at the moment that they're still working on. This is what I love about this business, is when you sow the right seeds, when you listen to what your audience wants and you solve it in a unique and compelling way, you can land 18K of business in one day, just like that. In fact, someone else did that 2 weeks ago. Ali Nitschke, I got a text message from her. She's in the leadership space, which is where I used to be. In 1 week, $54,000 worth of business locked in. Boom, just like that. Totally doable. One more thing I will say. If you're not in the corporate world, but you do something like wellness, Marianne Bennett, I'm looking at you, I would think long and hard about how you can bring that to the burnt out, stressed people that are working full-time in corporate. Because when I was in corporate, there are OD managers, OD stands for Organizational Development, L&D managers, Learning and Development managers, HR managers, Human Resource managers, who are actively looking for interesting ways to boost the well-being of their workplace. There is science and data out there that says happy, healthy people are better performers in the organizations. So I would say if you want to experience landing 18K days, 54K weeks, start positioning yourself in the corporate environment and looking at what you can resolve in their arena. You only need 1 or 2 clients to make 6 figures a year when you're working with some corporate companies. It's a very exciting thing. and it can help you really find your feet. It was the corporate work that we did that helped me realize that Lifestyle Business Builder was what was needed, because a lot of the people I met in the corporate world, they wanted to get out. They couldn't stand it. So anyway, thanks very much. Sue says, thanks, Jodie. Grateful for your guidance and support. Marianne says, can you read minds? Marianne, you know I can. No, I can't, but I'm just very tuned into what you guys need. And it's funny. A lot of people often think, oh my God, is she reading my mind? Is she talking to me? No, I just listen. I listen to you guys. I love you. I genuinely love you, and I know you will. All right, I'm going to shut up from rambling. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you on the coaching call at 10 a.m. if you're joining me. Otherwise, I'll see you sometime soon. Bye-bye.